good? We back in the building, man. It's your boy 2K3KingsBoxing.com. Of course, I'm joined with my man Bo. How you doing today, brother?
Ready to take aim and fire on all these motherfuckers today. I am, woo! Man, listen, I done have my Geritol, my ginseng, my Viagra. I'm ready.
Yeah, nigga. Here's the deal. I'm fed up, bro. And this type of shit is what led to the podcast being canceled indefinitely the first fucking time. Because, man, when you so logical on these dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking to a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. I mean, you're talking to a bunch of motherfuckers that wake up every morning and put the right shoe on the left foot and the left shoe on the right foot. You know what I'm saying? You're talking to a bunch of dumb motherfuckers that walk out the house with their shirt on backwards. Don't understand the back of the shirt from the front. That's how stupid these dudes are, bro. Boxing probably has some of the dumbest fans on the planet at any sport. That soccer, those bad fans over there in the UK, when them soccers, you know, them cats be fighting each other. Over there in Brazil, they be fighting each other in the stands. Boxing fans worse than them, dog. Y'all saw that shit at the Areola Ruiz fight, right? Bunch of cats just sitting there fighting each other at the end of Areola fucking Ruiz, dog. Come on. It's Areola Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was, you know, Floyd Mayweather and it was a bunch of Mexicans that are there to see Floyd Mayweather lose. That wasn't the case. It was just Areola Ruiz. So boxing fans are so fucking stupid, bro. And I get tired of having to explain myself when it's extremely logical what we're saying. I can't stand it. So this show right here is going to be the same fucking thing. Having to explain something that should already be fucking known, bro. Especially if you are a true fan of boxing, not a fan of a fighter. You are a true fan of boxing. I don't have a problem with people saying, hey, I'm a fan of Canelo, or I'm a fan of Callum Smith, right? Or I'm a fan of, you know, Juan Francisco Estrada. I'm a fan of Kazuda Ioka. I don't mind that, as long as you understand that you are a fan of the sport first, which means if any of those fighters you are fans of, they're fucking up, you will not hesitate to call them out for their bullshit. And you will not give them excuses or make excuses for them when they are out here bullshitting. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for, dog. I can tell y'all right now, man, I was a fan of Roy Jones Jr. like a motherfucker. I didn't miss a fight when Roy was on. I've watched him fight Lou Del Valle when he first got knocked down ever in his career.
Yeah.
Fight Montel Griffin when he got disqualified. I was throwing shit at my grandma's TV and ended up got my ass whooped for doing that. You know what I'm saying? I watched all his fights. James Toney. I watched them all, man. Right? What was that boy named? David Telesco. Even watched that one.
Man, I remember that fight. That's when Roy got in the corner and said, come on, man. You scared to fight? Come on.
Yeah. So I can tell y'all, man, I was a fan of a fighter at one point in time. But then what took me away from being a fan is that I had to answer for that fighter's transgressions, meaning whenever that fighter was fucking up or doing something stupid, ducking, whatever, I had to answer for that. And I'm not being paid by these fighters or these promoters or these networks to answer for something that a fighter's doing that he shouldn't be doing. I'm not being paid to make an excuse for, you know, a fighter ducking another fighter, and that fighter happens to be my favorite fucking fighter. Yeah, Richard Hall, L-Dub Boxing, exactly. I mean, yeah, watch that live, bro.
I sure did.
So that's why I stopped being fans of fighters, bro, because I'm not about to sit here and answer for these niggas. And that's the situation, right? Ruben Gutierrez, that's what's up. I'm glad you're here. You'll be here to listen what we got to say. I don't mind him saying that. If he's saying he's ducking Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, I don't know how he's ducking Billy Joe Saunders when he was signed to fight Billy Joe, and Billy Joe had fucking cocaine in his nasal spray. And that's how that fight didn't work.
Right. And then instead of rematching him, Billy Joe dipped out.
Yeah.
And went
to 168 and fought Sheep at Sufi.
Right. And I don't know how he ducking Callum Smith when them niggas not even in the same division.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
But anyway, man. But that's gonna be the situation here, man. Now, y'all remember, y'all have all seen this. If you haven't, you know what I'm saying? Here you go.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. My God. Well, fighters. No, get the fuck out of here.
Why you fuck you? Don't talk to my dad like that. I fuck you. We don't get that.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm gonna fuck you up right now.
Come. Get out of here. Big. Fuck you. All right? You that tough?
Hey, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Watch your mouth. Watch your fucking mouth. Watch your mouth, bro.
Hey.
There you go, guys, please.
What? Hey, what?
Hey, you're a horrible fighter, man. You're never gonna get the fight, man. You're a horrible fighter. Horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
Okay, next question.
Now, before we get started on that, I just want to say something. If I'm Demetrius Andrade, that moment right there, I leave Eddie Hearn ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
Because Eddie Hearn's, he's sitting up there with a grin on his face, looking at Demetrius Andrade like, you'll never get this fight, Mike. I'm with Canelo. Basically looking at him like, you know, what do you want me to do? The whole reason why Demetrius Andrade signed with DAZN, fellas, is because Eddie Hearn was dangling Canelo over his head. He was going for Canelo, and Andrade saw that. So he said, yeah, let me align with DAZN because they're going to have Canelo and they're going to have Triple G. Let me align with DAZN.
Yep.
Those are the fights I've been wanting. And Eddie Hearn knows this. So much so, Eddie Hearn put out a statement about being able to deliver Triple G or Canelo shortly after he signed Demetrius Andrade. So that told you what the intent was. Now, Andrade started making money fighting Luke Keeler and fucking Masej Selecki, Artur Akavov, shit like that, right? And that'll keep any fighter sane. You're making money, especially when he's coming from Banner and Star Promotions right before that, right? But that was the whole reason why, one of the biggest reasons why anyway, he signed with DAZN. So he can get those fights. And to see Eddie Hearn with this fucking smug look on his face, dog. If I'm Demetrius Andrade, you just got shitted on, not by Canelo. Canelo barely spoke English. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. He barely even spoke English. This nigga out of here, man. But Eddie Hearn is the one that shitted on you, dog. And then he had the nerve to be, guys. He had the nerve to say that.
Right.
Like he didn't understand why he would be there at that press conference saying what he's saying. Right. If Eddie Hearn was smart, he would have been like, that's a fight I'm looking to make.
Well, he does say it privately.
No, I'm talking about yeah.
On radio shows, he says, I've heard him say it, but when he's in front of Canelo, he ain't gonna say that.
Right. Now, my man, I can't think of his name right now, but he made a comment on one of the last videos we had. I think it was the one about this whole Demetrius Andrade, you know, busting in the press conference. He said, he made a good point. He said, if Eddie Hearn is smart, he would make that fight because he doesn't lose regardless of the outcome. Mm-hmm. He's still fucking with Canelo, and he's got Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade wins, he's building a new star, right?
Right.
If Canelo wins, he continues to fuck with Canelo. Just knocked another fighter off of his damn stable like he just did Billy Joe Saunders, right?
Yep.
He continues to fuck with Canelo. So Eddie Hearn is in a win-win situation. Can't remember the dude's name. My bad, brother. But he's in a win-win situation. And the dude he's absolutely right by saying that. So Eddie Hearn is so fucking stupid. Don't understand what he has. But he's so easily manipulated. That's why he's putting guys in these fights. Mo Hooker. You know, Josh Kelly had no reason to be fighting David Avanesian.
No, he did not.
He should not have put Josh Kelly in there with David Avanesian.
No, he should not.
Right? What's the other boy name? Lewis Ritson.
Listen.
He had no business fighting that European dude. That was a great boxer. Lewis Ritson is trash, man. Better build him up. So Eddie Hearn, Luke Campbell, Vasily Lomachenko,
Anthony Croya, and Jorge Linares.
Right. He's known for this. He doesn't know what he's doing. So at the end of the day, if I'm Demetrius Andrade, I'm leaving Eddie Hearn. Just go to PBC or somewhere, top rank. Doesn't matter. Go somewhere else reputable. But leave Eddie Hearn. He's not going to do shit for you, dog. At this point, that right there, watching Eddie Hearn's body language and that smug ass look on his face, he's not going to do a goddamn thing for Demetrius Andrade, man. But before we dig into the meat of this motherfucking show, right? Bo, you got anything you want to say, man? You over there quiet and shit, man. Talk, motherfucker.
I'm reading these comments, man. I'm tired, dog. I'm tired of the same stupid ass fucking comments all the time. Just come out and say, hey, man, I don't like my fighter fighting that fight because it's dangerous, right? Or better yet, just come out and say, hey, man, I don't want to push my fighter. Why? Because I'm a beta male myself. I don't want nobody pushing me. Just come out and say it. Just come out and say, yo, hold on, man. No. I swing from their balls, man. I don't want my fighter doing that. I would really literally have more respect for you if you come out and just say straight up that than to say shit like, what has he done? Or who has he beaten? All that. When the reality is, we can sit and name a bunch of motherfuckers in boxing that hadn't done nothing until that moment came for them to show you what they can fucking do.
Right.
That is a fact.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's actually how it works.
And it's a goddamn shame. Like when understand something, we're not advocating for Demetrius fucking Andrade. We're not advocating for him.
Not advocating for anybody.
Not advocating for anybody.
We're speaking logical. We're speaking logical here, bro, and giving you facts to support. That's it.
But when you come to the Three Kings website and you say the stupid shit you say, okay, now you force us to do shit that we normally don't do. Oh. Now, I actually like what Canelo said, but what Canelo did prove something to me. He's bothered by Demetrius Andrade. Why? Because Canelo has never acted like that, even if he was going to say it in Spanish. When a lot ran up on him, he didn't even do all of that. He just asked the crowd, does anybody want to see the fight? Right. Canelo's never... Billy Joe Saunders... what's that dude from the Contender? That cat Gomez, whatever his name is.
Alfonso Gomez.
Alfonso Gomez did a rap song dissing Canelo in front of his face. Canelo didn't go off. Abel Sanchez told the motherfucker, don't eat no completer raw before I fight. Don't take no drugs before I fight with Golovkin. Canelo didn't go off like that. So that tells me, yo, man, he's bothered by this dude. He's bothered by Andrade. Mm-hmm. And for good fucking reason.
Let me go in the chat, man. Let me shout them boys out, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have some type of energy, nigga, because I'm sick of this shit, man. My man L-Dub Boxing is in the building. Still proving, it's always proven in the building. My man Ronnie L. Brown says, salute, what's good, family? The Texan is in these Texas streets. My man Jake L. Davis is in these motherfucking streets. Joel, shit, I fucked his name up. Julio Ortega is in these streets.
You had a bow moment.
I did have a ball. I said, Julio, I fucked that up. My bad, homie. My man Isaac stepping on these motherfuckers in these streets. That's what's up. Ruben Gutierrez is in here talking that Canelo shit, but he's still in these streets. My man Actual Facts. He said, we in these streets. What up, fam? What's good, family? My man Troy Source. He's in these streets.
Yes, that's sir.
My man Second Ezra, 92AKU. They both in these motherfucking streets. And of course, my man Chris M. all the way from the UK, mate. It's in these streets.
Hey, yo, man, why do Chris M look like he just stole something out your damn,
Yeah,
you know,
he
he's like,
look like-
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that nigga look like I just took your last Oreo cookie, my nigga.
That motherfucker look like he photobombing somebody or some shit,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
You cut that goddamn beard off, nigga. That's what's up, though, nah, man. All right, man. I want to run down some comments, man, that I had seen regarding the last couple of videos. You know, when we went on a motherfucking tornado watch, basically, on Billy Joe Saunders, man. So, on the video where we talked about actually this Demetrius Andrade busting in on the press conference, a motherfucker came and said in the comment section, he said, "Yo, Andrade hasn't got the fight because of his resume, and Canelo has his own agenda," right? That's leading into this show. Another cat on Facebook said, "No disrespect, but this clown," talking about Andrade, "still hasn't earned a shot with that weak ass resume. Work your way up, my man, then call out Canelo." I see there's two dumb fucks that like that comment. So I'll go to another one. Motherfucker said on the show, he said basically that Canelo fought Billy Joe Saunders because he has a belt that he wanted. Let me repeat that. He's saying he fought Billy Joe Saunders because Billy Joe had a belt that Canelo wanted. Plus, he's saying Canelo is keeping the sport alive. He's spreading his name throughout Europe. That's how he's keeping the sport of boxing alive.
That's God damn.
Oh, they're my favorite. My favorite, dog. Man, he's not even commenting on Andre or Billy Joe. He's commenting on the language of this show. He said, some niggas say nigga too much. Shit starts sounding scripted. The live was cool though. I like the live, but less nigga would have made it better.
It is less niggas, just two of us, but you only want one nigga to do the show.
I got something for you, dog. Nigga, 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 nick, niggity nick, 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 nigga, 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 nugu, niggy, nigga, nigga, niggy, niggity nick, nick, niggy, nigga, nigga, nigga. Now unsubscribe, motherfucker. Stupid ass. Why would you say that, bro? Like, we're gonna take your advice. You know what? You might be right. Maybe I will stop saying that. Fucking dumb motherfuckers, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Now let's get to this resume shit. Matter of fact, hold on. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna say that. Bo, talk to me, man. He said Billy Joe was basically a good pick because Billy Joe has a title he wants. But isn't the title Billy Joe has or had, which was the WBO, that's the same fucking title that Demetrius Andrade holds at 160, right?
Yes, it
and
was.
if I'm not mistaken, you know, Canelo talks all this shit. It's all about legacy. I'm trying to be undisputed. Well, you had an opportunity to become undisputed when you defeated Daniel Jacobs for his IBF title in May of 2019.
Ding ding ding
because
ding
you
ding,
had
ding 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 ding.
right, you had the IBF.
Uh-huh.
You had beaten Golovkin for the WBA and WBC.
Yes, sir.
There was one title left. That's the WBO. And Demetrius Andrade was holding that title, which is the same title you just picked up off of Billy Joe Saunders at 168 to try to become undisputed there. Well, if it was all about legacy and undisputed, which is the shit Canelo's saying right now, then why the fuck didn't you fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed at 160? That was the last title.
Yep.
I'll expand on that later. So the dude said he picked Billy Joe because it was the title that he wanted. But that makes no sense. I just debunked that because Andrade had that title, and it was the last one that would have made Canelo undisputed at 160. So, so that's debunked. But then his other statement is that Canelo's keeping boxing alive because he's spreading his name, quote, quote, throughout Europe by running on this Euro tour. Oh, what are you? Talk to me, man.
Euro tour? What? He's been fighting in the U.S. See, that didn't fought in Mexico. What Euro tour? Huh?
That's what he said, bro.
Okay, well, first of all, I didn't know, boxing was dead. I just only know guys like, Kubrat Pulev coming out of Belgium and, Josh Kelly, Josh Taylor, O'Hara Davies, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Joshua Buatsi,
Artur Beterbiev,
Misha
Bivol, Juan Francisco Estrada, Roman Gonzalez, Kosei Tanaka, Kazuda Aoka, Donnie Nietes. I mean, I keep fucking going. I didn't know either.
I had no idea. Manny Pacquiao. I had no idea. Jeff Horn. I had no Anthony Mundine. Nigga, I had no idea.
Louis Nery's fighting this weekend and a very good fight against Brandon Figueroa. You got Stephen Fulton. You got fucking Jaron Ennis is a big time prospect. Virgil Ortiz. I didn't know boxing was dead either, bro. I didn't know Canelo was single-handedly keeping boxing alive, regardless of all those names: Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, who is in my opinion, Manny Pacquiao would be the guy you would say is keeping boxing alive because of the inspiration that he has provided in boxing by being who he is, right? But he skipped Manny Pacquiao and said, no, it's Canelo.
Canelo. All right. But still Lomachenko. I mean all right, dude. Whatever, dog. I mean, hell, we even ain't female fighters. Katie Taylor, Oh, man, this is a really good name.
Oh, my goodness.
Christine Linden Dartile. I mean, we can keep going. We can keep going with this.
Anywho, though, bro.
Oh, this is
at the end of the day, man.
Just say you don't want to see your dude in a dangerous fight, man. I respect that more.
Right. Right. My man Virtual also got a question. He said, if you're sanctioned as a WBO title holder, can you force a title fight against another WBO champ on the next weight class above or below? No, you cannot. You can't force it. However, what can happen is when you drop, or at least you move up in weight, the WBO, unless you're considered what's a WBO super champion, which is a legitimate status, they will ask you, okay, if you're moving up or down in weight, you need to relinquish your title and we'll make you automatic #1 contender in that division's rankings. If you're the WBO super champion, then they'll tell you you can keep your title in the division you're the champion in, but when you move up or down, right, you have to will allow you to fight the champion or the WBO title holder of the new division you're moving into, while still holding the WBO title in your home division. So, perfect example of somebody who had to drop the title in order to fight for the title in a new division. Chris Algieri, he was a WBO champion when he beat Ruslan Provodnikov. He had to drop the title in order to fight Manny Pacquiao at 147. So there's one example there. Example of a WBO super champion that didn't have to drop the title is Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's she was undisputed at 135, moved up to 140 and fought Christine Linden-Dartile for her WBO title, won it, moved back down to 135 and kept her WBO title there. So that's how that works. They can't force anything, but what they do depends on it can drive what the WBO does for them next. That's how it works. So at the end of the day, man, like Bo said, if you don't want your favorite fighter to fight a certain somebody, instead of making excuses and basically talking out of your ass to the point where you contradict the actions of your favorite fighter, making you and your favorite fighter look stupid at the same fucking time, just say, hey, we don't like that fight. It's too dangerous. Doesn't mean anything. We don't give a fuck. We'll be like, yeah, it is too dangerous. We'll actually agree. You know what I'm saying? It is too dangerous. But instead, a nigga like me, and sorry for that listener that didn't like that word, right? A nigga like me will take your statements, right, and put them right back down your fucking throat. So those guys saying, And this is always the number one excuse for Canelo fans. And let me do this before I get into this, right? Let me do this real quick. Let me throw that right there, dog.
Let me take this down so you can see that.
Let me throw that right there, dog.
Yep.
Y'all don't need to know who everybody else is. Look at what's at number one right there. You see that? You see that, right? This is on 3kingsboxing.com. I've allowed this list to be displayed on that website, right? Canelo Alvarez is the number one fighter on our 3 Kings top 10 list. I want you guys to understand that before I start going in. So it has nothing to do with we hate Canelo, we're Canelo haters, all this other shit. That right there is showing you that we actually understand how good of a fighter Canelo Alvarez is. But at the same time, we're telling you and showing you and basically providing nothing but facts as to why Canelo is not only ducking Demetrius Andrade, but his fanboys are giving him invalid excuses to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the number one excuse, Bo, is this is the number one excuse. Demetrius Andrade hasn't fought nobody. That's the number one excuse. Now, there are several motherfuckers out there that Canelo has fought.
Yep.
That don't have the resume of Demetrius Andrade. They don't have the resume, nor do they even come close to the career accolades that Demetrius Andrade has. Right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, right, I'm going to run down 5 fighters. I don't need to do that. They're probably like 30. More than that. Wait, Canelo got like what, 58 fights? There's probably 57 motherfuckers that don't have the same. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that back. Maybe 50, right? 50 motherfuckers that Canelo has beaten that do not have the same career accolades or don't have a better resume. But I'll run down 5. And these are going to be 5 starting where Canelo ducked Demetrius Andrade for the first time. Take you all back to March 2014. Demetrius Andrade was already the champion, right? He had already defeated Vanes Martirosyan.
Yep.
And I'll go into Vanes Martirosyan and what type of fighter he was at 154 when Demetrius Andrade fought him. I'll go into that. So he's already the WBO champion. And Canelo is the WBO #1 contender at that time.
Sure was.
Go look it up if you don't believe me. He elects to fight Alfredo Angulo in March of 2014. Now, Bo, please jump in at any time, bro.
Oh, yes, I can't wait.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't
jump
wait.
In at any
I can't wait.
time. Now, Alfredo Angulo, and this is another funny comment. This is what led me to say this. A guy said, because I told him, I said, hey, Canelo had a chance to beat the shit out of Demetrius Andrade, because another guy was like, oh, man, I hope Canelo fights Demetrius Andrade and closes his mouth. I said, oh, Canelo won't do that because he had an opportunity to fight him twice.
Sure did.
Once when he was the #1 contender for the WBO at 154. The other when he had the only remaining belt for Canelo to become undisputed at 160. And Canelo avoided both scenarios. All right? And I said, he wouldn't do it then. He won't do it now. Guy comes back. Oh, man, Canelo had bigger fish to fry when Andrade was the champion, 154. Oh, really?
And Fredo Angulo was bigger fish?
Evidently so. Right?
Wait. And Fredo Angulo was bigger fish?
Evidently so. No, sir, Ruben. No, sir, Ruben. That pay-per-view was trash. Did like 300 pay-per-view buys, 300K. It was trash, bro.
Yes, it
so
was.
That's not why. Also, I'll tell you why, though, Ruben. The pay-per-view was trash, like I said. 300K buys or 350K buys. It was garbage, right? Better than Terrence Crawford. But I digress. I digress.
Combined.
I digress, dog. Right? But here's the deal. The reason why they got the Alfredo and Gulo fight is because Canelo had just lost to Floyd Mayweather. So they had to rebuild his image. Oscar De La Hoya came out and said, no, that's not the fight we're looking for. Even though he's the #1 contender,
Yep.
that's not the motherfucker that we're trying to fight, right? So at the end of the day, they're trying to rebuild his motherfucking image. He just lost to Floyd. The bigger draw, J-Ball, definitely wasn't Alfredo Angulo. Alfredo Angulo has never been a champion. Alfredo Angulo had already lost to Kermit Cintron, bro. If the fight was in Mexico, sure.
Sure. Hell yeah.
But the fight was in the U.S. Mexicans weren't backing Alfredo Angulo like that. That's why they didn't buy the pay-per-view. That's why they didn't sell out the fucking arena. They weren't backing Alfredo Angulo like that. Hell, they weren't even backing Canelo like that. So at the end of the day, fighting Alfredo Angulo, who's never been a world champion, and at the time, he had already had 3 losses. 3 dudes already ran through him. Erislandy Lara, James Kirkland, and Kermit Cintron.
Yep.
They had all already beaten Alfredo Angulo. Alfredo Angulo was damaged goods when Canelo fought him. Right?
He sure was.
His best win when he fought Canelo was fucking Joaquim Alcine. Do y'all even know who that is? I'll tell you, former WBA regular 154-pound champion. That was Alfredo Angulo's best win when Canelo decided to fight him instead of Demetrius Andrade. Now, I understand the business. 1 second, bro. I got you.
Go ahead.
I understand the business side of it. You just lost to Floyd Mayweather. Why would you put him back in the ring with a guy that is going to give you a hell of a lot of trouble? That's why Oscar didn't want to make the fucking the Erislandy Lara fight when Lara crashed the Alfredo Angulo press conference, post-fight press conference. Oscar De La Hoya was like, no, we can't make that fight. I'll give you James Kirkland. He's like, no, I don't want James Kirkland. I want Erislandy Lara because the Mexicans are calling me a pussy. So I have to basically show that I'm not afraid of this guy.
Yep.
Give me Erislandy Lara. That is the one time I back Canelo Alvarez for his decisions, bro. That's the one time I backed Canelo for his decision.
Mm-hmm.
He said, nah, give me that motherfucker. He crashed my press conference. Give me that motherfucker. And they fought Lara.
And
right?
mind you, Lara was a boring fighter like motherfucking say Andrade was. Lara was a boring fighter. Lara didn't have no pay-per-views.
Exactly.
He ain't sell out shit. Nobody really, the only thing people knew about Lara was that he was robbed against Paul Williams.
Exactly.
That's it.
And he had a draw with Carlos Molina. So Ruben, you're one of those fans that you do so much fanboying that you say shit that contradicts the actions of your favorite fighter. You're saying, oh, he fought Alfredo Angulo because he was exciting and Andrade is boring. Well, what about Erislandy Lara? He fought him right after Angulo. Now, mind you, when he fought Lara, Andrade was no longer champion. He had already been stripped of his title. Lara, he fought him in July of 2014. Andrade was stripped, I believe, in June. So he was no longer champion.
And Andrade was stripped. Why? Because the WBO, who didn't order the mando of Canelo, stripped him for not fighting his mandatory.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's the situation. So Erislandy Lara was cool though, bro. And I know for a fucking fact, Ruben, you were not saying that Erislandy Lara is an exciting fighter at that time. The fuck out of here. So there, right there, Ruben is an example of a Canelo fanboy that gives so many excuses that he ends up contradicting the actions of Canelo's himself, dog. So Alfredo Angulo does not have a better resume. And we're talking about wins. His best win was Joaquim Alcine, man, who had just beaten, he'd only beaten David Lemieux, right? Got his ass whooped by Jamal Charlo, right?
Right.
Joaquim Alcine is not better than Demetrius Andrade's best win. right? So Alfredo Angulo doesn't have a better resume. That's number one. Let's move on to the next guy he fought. And by the way, when he fought this guy, right, he jumped at the opportunity for the same belt that Demetrius Andrade had held previously and was stripped of. And Canelo was his number one contender. Andrade stripped of it. This guy gets the belt. Canelo's like, oh, me. Let me fight him next. And that's Liam Smith. Mm-hmm. Now, if you sit here and tell me, any of you guys, sit here and tell me that Liam Smith has a better resume than Demetrius Andrade, block yourself. Go ahead and put yourself. Yeah, right. Slap your motherfucking self. Real talk. Just block yourself before I get to it, man. Because you're obviously trolling. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell at the time, even now, Liam Smith still doesn't have a better resume. Right? But then Liam Smith most definitely didn't have a better resume. They fought in September of 2016. I was so pissed off at the fight that I was offered credentials and turned them down.
I remember that.
Because they fought out here in Frisco, right? Frisco, Texas. I was offered credentials to go to the fight and I turned it down. So he fights him September 2016. Liam Smith was undefeated, but he had a little blemish on his record. He had a draw with a UK domestic fighter nobody fucking knows by the name of Terry Carruthers. You want to know what Terry Carruthers, what his record was, Bo, when they fought and they got a draw?
What was it, man?
6 wins, 5 losses, 4 draws.
6 wins, 5 losses,
4 draws. Now, Liam Smith's best win, and this is laughable, right, is arguably John Thompson. Mm-hmm. Because John Thompson, I believe, beat Brandon Adams. And Brandon Adams is a nobody. I mean, he's just now coming out because, one, he took Jamal Charlo 12 rounds. I don't know why people give him credit for that, but whatever. He took Jamal 12 rounds and lost 12 rounds, right? But then he knocked out the Sergey, I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah, he knocked him out, and he was in the last round too. He was getting his ass.
In the last round, it was the 8th round.
Yeah, right,
he was getting his ass beat. Yeah. He was getting his ass beat the whole fight and caught him with a check left hook while he was coming in with his hands down, knocked him out. That was on a Wednesday night fight on NBC, right? So that's where Brandon Adams is getting a little bit of buzz right now. But Brandon Adams ain't really shit. I mean, what did he win the Contender Series? He had to beat Shane Mosley Jr. That's it. So he wasn't really shit. But John Thompson knocked him out. That's John Thompson's best win. And then there's another guy that comes from Serbia and Montenegro by the name of Predrag Radosevic. I think he was undefeated at the time, or had 1 loss. Those 2 guys are Liam Smith's best win. Now, John Thompson is unheard of at this moment in time. Nobody knows where the fuck he's at.
Yes, he is.
Same thing with Predrag Radosevic. Never heard from this guy again. I guarantee you 95% of you motherfuckers listening to this show have never heard of Predrag Radosevic and barely know John Thompson. So, Liam Smith undoubtedly does not have a better resume than Andrade. But the kicker is this. Why was Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo so ready to jump at Liam Smith as soon as he grabbed the same WBO title that Demetrius Andrade had and had been stripped of right before that?
Yep.
They wanted no problems with they didn't want to deal with the WBO title when Demetrius Andrade had it. But when Liam Smith got it, they jumped at the opportunity. What does that tell you guys? Fanboys and all. 92AKU. I don't care if you're a Canelo fanboy, just as long as you don't make excuses for him. And what I'm saying right now resonates with you. That's all I care about. There's no way, 92AKU and Ruben Gutierrez, there's no way you guys can tell me that Canelo was right and not fighting Demetrius Andrade, but jumping up and fighting Liam Smith. And people can say, oh, well, Liam Smith was a British guy. He had a lot of fan base. No, he did not. If Canelo would have went to the UK and fought Liam Smith, I could understand that, right? Because he's fighting Liam Smith on his home turf. He's the champion, and he's fighting him in front of his British fans. But that's not what he did. He brought Liam Smith to Dallas, Texas, and fought him in the fucking the Dallas Cowboys practice stadium, not Arlington Stadium, where he just fought fucking Billy Joe. No, it was the practice stadium, which is much, much smaller than that. And the goddamn stadium wasn't even sold out.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, at this time when Canelo went to fight Liam Smith, this is when he was pulling that whole I'm not a 160-pound fighter. They had that Canelo weight, 155.
Right.
Fighting for the middleweight title.
Right. So there's no way that you could tell me Liam Smith has a better resume, had better accolades, and was able, right, to get the fight before Demetrius Andrade. No fucking way, dog. You can't tell me that. I'll go to the next one. Liam Smith absolutely does not have a better fucking resume or better accolades, right, than Demetrius Andrade. That's my bad. You're right. AT&T Stadium. Ruben, fight still wasn't sold out. What does it fucking matter? You're right. They fought at AT&T Stadium, which makes it even worse because it wasn't sold out. But Billy Joe was over here. They sold out. When Liam Smith was over here, they sectioned off areas of AT&T Stadium because they didn't sell enough tickets. Let's move to the next one. So when Canelo decided he wanted to make his first run at 168, we're not talking about that, Ruben. 73,000 during a pandemic. Did he get 73,000 against Liam Smith in the same stadium? No.
No.
We're not talking about Billy Joe. Exactly. We're talking about Liam Smith. He didn't even get 53,000 against Liam Smith. They sectioned off areas of the arena. Basically, like I said, he doesn't have any accolades, nor did he have any type of resume to get the Canelo fight, but Canelo still gave it to him. So that contradicts what fanboys say about Canelo and Andre not having the resume. That contradicts it, bro. Wait till I get to it in 9-2 AKU. Thank you, Jermaine. 45,000. Thank you, sir. Didn't even make 53. Like I said, they sectioned off areas of the arena because they only got 45K for Canelo Liam Smith. Let's go to the next one. So that's two fighters that debunk the whole Demetrius Andrade doesn't have the resume. Who is he fought? All right. So when Canelo decided to make a run at 168, he picked on a little old boy by the name of Rocky Fielding.
Sure did. For the regular title.
WBA
regular title.
Right? J-Ball, you got to know your history before you make a point about anything that happens in the present. Come on, man. You're smarter than that. I don't just talk about right now, dude. When you try to say that Demetrius Andrade hasn't fought anybody in his career, they're saying he hasn't fought anybody in his career. That's what they're saying. That's why I'm going through his fucking career. And I'm going through Canelo's fucking career. And I'm talking about the guys that Canelo fought when he could have fought Demetrius Andrade. Pay attention. No, they were not both on the fucking way up.
Andrade was the champion. Yeah.
You can't be on the way up when you're a fucking champion. On the way up is a prospect or a contender. Both Canelo and Demetrius Andrade had been champions. Fuck. I know, JL. I know exactly. Exactly, bro. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I don't do the show like I used to.
No.
This is why. I'm spitting nothing but logic here, dog. Everything I'm saying can be looked up. Everything. I'm not making up a goddamn thing here. Everything can be looked up.
Andrade ain't sold 50,000. Did Liam Smith sell it? Did Angulo ever sell it?
No.
What the fuck is the point then? Like, first of all, why does that matter? Why does any of that matter? We're talking about the resumes that you all said were that hey, he's done nothing. His resume is weak. So why should Canelo fight him? Okay, so we're breaking down the resumes of other guys that he's fought that was weaker than Andrade's.
Exactly.
So why are we talking about seats, tickets, fucking parking lot vendors? Why the fuck are we talking about that? Who fucking cares? We're talking about the resumes. See, when y'all deflect, that tells me you can't argue these facts. Why? Because you're bringing shit in an argument that we're not talking about.
Like he said, I am taking y'all's number one argument, the fanboys, which is Demetrius. When we say Demetrius Andrade should get the Canelo fight, they say, who is he beating? He hasn't fought anybody. Well, neither did these guys on my list that Canelo actually gave the fight to. That's all I'm doing. How am I wrong, or how am I incorrect? Or how do I need, why is there counter arguments? There should be no counter argument here. This is all facts. I've gone down 2. I got 3 more. I actually got 4 more because I had one in my head while I was fucking talking. Alfredo Angulo didn't do anything to get the goddamn Canelo fight that Andrade hasn't already done. Liam Smith most definitely didn't do anything to get the Canelo fight that Demetrius Andrade hadn't already done before him. Now we go to Rocky Fielding, December of 2018. Rocky Fielding, right? He's known for getting knocked out in the first round by Callum Smith. That's what he was known for before he actually defeated Tyrone Zouge for the WBA regular 168-pound title. So his best win is arguably John Ryder and fucking Tyrone Zouge. Exactly, Wayne Jr. He said, who has he beat equal? I don't want no smoke. Exactly. Exactly, standing 8 count. Who did Billy Joe beat? But I'll get to him, standing 8 count.
Oh, yeah, no, he's here. He's up. He's up.
We're going to get to him.
He's up.
Right?
And this whole, well, why don't, you see, again, y'all kill me. Y'all say shit that, J-Ball, why don't he fight a champion? Why fight a contender? Okay, then I want you to tell everybody at 126 do the same fucking thing. Yep. I want you to tell everybody, motherfucker, at all the other divisions, all these other divisions, you tell them do the same fucking thing. He's fighting contenders because he can't get the champions. Charlo ain't trying to fight him. GGG ain't trying to goddamn fight him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And why didn't Billy Joe Saunders fight Callum Smith? Instead, when he heard he might get Canelo, he backed out that fight.
Yep.
Fuck out of here with that shit, man. Go ahead, man. My bad, man.
No, you good, dog. You good. Shit is like I said, jump in at any time. So Rocky Fielding's best 2 wins, and go look at his resume. Like I said, 2K would never lie to you guys, man. I have no reason to lie. If somebody's doing something right, I will applaud them for it. I don't have a favorite fighter. Listen, the reason why I do these videos, I argue shit that goes on in boxing so fans don't have to. That's true. The whole reason why I'm doing this shit. Now, if you're a Canelo fanboy and you just don't want to listen, then that's fine, dog. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm going to call out fuckery when it's there. Yep. Rocky Fielding did not do anything with his best wins being John fucking Ryder and Tyrone Zouge to get a Canelo fight. He did nothing. I don't even need to talk about Rocky Fielding. You guys know, Canelo fanboys too know that he does not have the resume of Demetrius Andrade, nor does he have the career accolades. So that's 3 guys that got a Canelo fight where he's basically, his actions are killing your favorite argument about Andrade not having the resume. Well, who he beat? These guys didn't get that. Let's go to the next one. Avni Yildirim. Word up, JL. He says, since when does a world champion have to validate their resume to fight another champion that was in the same division? Don't recall Buster Douglas telling Holyfield that he needs to get his resume up. I don't recall Holyfield telling Buster Douglas that. I don't recall Mike Tyson saying that to Buster Douglas before he fought him, put his undisputed title, his undisputed titles on the line.
Now, I don't recall Sonny Liston telling Muhammad Ali, and this after Sonny Liston said he impersonates a fight. He's not a fight, he impersonating the fighter. He didn't tell Muhammad Ali, go out and prove to me you're a real fighter. He didn't do that.
No, J-Ball, we're not blaming Canelo for anything. What we're saying is that the way Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya are handling his career, he is avoiding Demetrius Andrade, and this proves it. On top of that, we are debunking what the fanboys are saying.
Yes.
That's fine into AKU. If you think Boo Boo loses to Canelo, hey, that's what's up. I don't care who wins that fight. I want to see it because Boo Boo has done enough to get the fight, more than enough than the 5 and 6 guys that I'm naming you off this list. Boo Boo has done more than Alfredo Angulo, Liam Smith, and Rocky Fielding. Hell, put together, he's done better than all 3 of those guys. And they were able to get the fight. Boo Boo deserves the fight too. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
Avni Yildirim. Canelo, of course, sitting at 160, wasn't talking about 168 at all. Made no mention of 168. But as soon as the man who's going to be the next topic, the next short topic, David Benavidez, right?
Oh, man.
Missed weight, lost his title. Title became vacant. Now Canelo all of a sudden wants to go to 168. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
He made no mention of it. No mention of going to 168 and trying to unify all of the belts. Made no mention of it until Benavidez missed weight, got his belt stripped, belt's now vacant. Canelo and team, let me say this, Canelo and team saw that Avni Yildirim was next up, right? Was next up to fight for that belt. Canelo immediately petitioned to be able to fight Avni Yildirim. DAZN said, no, sir, we don't pay you that kind of money to fight Avni Yildirim. So the fight got blocked. Canelo, so the WBC did something slick. They said, okay.
It did very slick.
This is what the WBC did. Something slick. They said, okay. You won't allow Avni Yildirim? Then we'll make that vacant title eligible in the title fight against Callum Smith. That way, when Canelo gets the WBC title, Avni Yildirim is up next, and y'all can't block it. That was a good business move. I'm not knocking the business side of boxing, J-Ball. Said sounds like good business moves to me. I'm not knocking that.
No.
I just said earlier that with Oscar De La Hoya not allowing Canelo to fight Demetrius Andrade, but instead Alfredo Angulo straight off of a Floyd Mayweather loss was a good business move.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to the fans, y'all aren't in it for the fucking business. Duh. Are you getting paid off of basically saying, hey, that was a good a business move you did with Canelo? No, you're not in it for business. You're a fan of the sport, right? You're supposed to be in it to see the best fight the best. That's what you're supposed to be in it for. Not because somebody made a good business move. What the fuck are you, an accountant, nigga? Are you their lawyer?
Oh, my God. These dudes, they killing me, man. Nobody else fighting 4 times. Okay. How many fights James Kirkland had before Canelo put him in the ring? Oh, my bad. Okay. Okay.
Don't worry about it, bro.
Okay.
At the end of
Amir
the day,
Khan had how many fights? Okay.
don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's too easy, bro. It's too easy.
Oh, my
So like I said, the WBC made that slick ass move and said, give him the vacant title. When he beats Callum Smith, he'll have it. Avni Yildirim is next. Canelo can't block it. Bet. So understand, people, Canelo tried to get Avni Yildirim, but the zone did not allow it.
That's very true. Yeah, they did.
This was not a mandated fight until after the zone blocked it. Well, Canelo made his request. The zone blocked it. Then the WBC allowed that fight or that belt to be within the vacant title that could be fought for against Callum Smith. Then they mandated it. No, we're not, J-Ball. We're not getting the best fights. Terrence Crawford may never fight fucking Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford may never fight Virgil Ortiz. Canelo may never fight David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, or Jamal Charlo. We're not getting the best fights. What the fuck are you talking about? That's the problem in boxing today. That's the fans' number one fucking complaint right now.
Sure is.
We're not going to get Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. We're not going to get Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. We're not going to get Tank Davis versus Vasily Lomachenko. We're not getting the big fights. The fuck are you talking about? That is exactly the number one complaint that boxing fans have.
Look how long we're waiting for fucking supposedly agreed Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. We're hearing something every fucking week.
We didn't get Anthony Joshua versus fucking Deontay Wilder.
Nope.
And probably not going to get it. So this is exactly why I'm doing what I do. All right, man. J-Ball, you got one more comment, man. You got one more. Now you're just being fucking stupid. You got one more, dog. You know, goddamn well, we're not getting no. I'm saying we're not getting those fights right now. Did these motherfuckers fight each other yet? No, nigga.
Nope. And how long have Devin Haney been asking for the fight with Teofimo Lopez and Lopez being dismissed? Hell, Lopez being dismissed of everybody at that division right now. So what are you talking about?
Fucking damn, dog.
Bob Arum even said that Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko is a shit fight. I'd rather see Vasily Lomachenko fight Shakur Stevens, who was at 122 at the fucking time when he said it. So we're not getting the best fights. That's what we're saying, right? The best fights are not happening right now, and they're not.
These fights should have happened already.
Yes.
No, they're probably not, J-Ball. They're probably not.
No. Well, we definitely know Anthony Joshua ain't fighting Deontay Wilder. We know that.
Yeah, Joshua Wilder's not happening.
Not happening.
Teofimo Lopez is talking about moving up. He may not fight Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia is on he's got mental issues, although he's doing commercials.
Right.
Ryan Garcia said he's trying to retire at 25, 26.
And Tank Davis does not has ever mentioned Vasily Lomachenko.
Oh, Vasily's called out Tank Davis several times and moved up in weight because he couldn't get the goddamn fight.
Right.
So those fights are not coming. And if they do come, J-Ball, it's going to be too late. We want to see these guys in their prime, not when they're fucking 35, 36, 37 years old.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz. Or how about Josh Warrington and Shakur Stevenson? What happened there?
That fight ain't happening. Not now. Josh Warrington got his ass whooped by the journeyman.
Yeah.
Nope.
So stop, man. You know what we're saying. There are lots of fights out there that need to happen that has not been happening that we've been waiting on. And the way it looks, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Like all of y'all was pissed off that Floyd and Manny made us wait 5 years. Now all of a sudden y'all motherfuckers okay with it.
Yeah. When the hell did marinating fights way too long become a good thing?
Right.
Right? When the fuck did that happen? Only when it's for your favorite fighter, then that's when it's good. That's when it's okay. Let me get back to this, man. So now the WBC did that slick shit. Canelo's fighting Avni Yildirim so that he can, quote, keep his title. They would never strip this nigga anyway. Mm-hmm. But they passed it across to you fucking dumbass idiots as a fight in which, if he don't fight him, we'll strip him. You know, goddamn well the WBC does whatever Canelo wants them to do.
That's very, very true.
And it's been that way for a while now.
Yep.
Canelo says jump. Mauricio Suleiman fucking says how high.
Them niggas, Canelo Alvarez, pop positive. Them niggas told their champion Gennady Golovkin, shut the fuck up.
Yup.
Golovkin was a WBC champion. They told him, be quiet.
J-Ball said, do you think Canelo versus Andrade is a mega fight? I think Canelo versus Andrade is a bigger fight than Canelo versus Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
However, I understand why Canelo goes for Caleb Plant. Hell, it's undisputed. I was saying the same shit at 160 when he had 3 belts there. Oh, shit, he just beat Daniel Jacobs. Man, we're going to get Canelo versus Andrade. Nope. I figured that was automatic because he'd be undisputed.
Yep.
Nope, we didn't get that.
Nope.
But when it's Caleb Plant, who's not as skilled as Demetrius Andrade, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. He's not. He's going for that, though. Anyway.
And mind you, when he didn't fight Andrade at 160, he went straight to 175 for Sergey Kovalev with a 5-week training camp after having a fight.
Ridiculous. But I digress. Abney Yildirim, his best win is Marco Antonio Parabin. That's Abney Yildirim's best win, guys. Marco Antonio fucking Parabin. This is a guy Canelo asked to fight, y'all. He asked to fight him before the because you gotta say shit like 8 times for dumb niggas, man. Before the WBC allowed the vacant title to be fought for against Callum, Canelo wins, and then they mandated the fight. He asked to fight Abney Yildirim, y'all. Best win is Marco Antonio Parabin. But the best thing that ever happened to him was a draw against Anthony Durrell.
Yeah, yeah.
So the draw with Anthony Durrell is probably that's the best win of Abney Yildirim's career, honestly, is a draw with Anthony Durrell. Why? Because it allowed him to keep his #1 contender spot. Because the WBC felt it was bullshit how the fight ended in a technical decision. Anthony Durrell got cut and didn't want to continue, was up on the scorecard, so he won that vacant belt, right? Again, David Benavidez. That time he was snorting cocaine and got stripped, or you know what I'm saying? Or became a emeritus champion. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
He was emeritus champion.
Which means now that's very important. Oh, God, it's like we could go all day and y'all don't understand this. This is why this is. Yep. That's very important to know. You know why? Because when he was emeritus champion, that means that he can come back anytime and fight for the title. He does not lose his place in the line. Yep. He basically can just come right back when he's ready and fight for the title, right?
That's what he did too.
And he popped for cocaine.
Yep.
Drugs, illegal substance, shit that you ain't supposed to have and go to jail for, right?
That's what he should be in prison.
Should be in prison. This time around, the nigga just missed weight. And they said, nope. Gotta go to back of line.
Hey, 92 AKU. Nah, man. We don't hate no fighter. I dislike Canelo because of what he's doing. But look at the screen. 92 AKU. Look at the screen and tell me on my website that I own, who's the #1 fighter?
I'll do you one better. What day was that when Canelo Alvarez fought Daniel Jacobs?
You said what?
What was the date when Canelo Alvarez fought Daniel Jacobs?
May 5th. It was Cinco de Mayo weekend, so May of 2019.
Okay, so
we were there.
If that fight was on Friday, go back to the fight was on Saturday. Go back to Friday.
No.
We did
go ahead.
So we did a live feed. And my man right here said Canelo Alvarez could be on his way to being the greatest Mexican fighter in history.
I said that.
Chavez. My man right here said that on a live feed.
I said past Salvador Sanchez. That's my number one Mexican fighter of all time. But yeah, I said that if I said it because after he beat, well, I don't think the fight had happened. We were just driving around Las Vegas at the time. And I said if he beats Daniel Jacobs, he becomes a 3-belt unified champion. All he has to do is beat Demetrius Andrade. He becomes undisputed. Then he can go up to 168 and get undisputed there. I said if this motherfucker becomes a 2-time undisputed champion, bro, fighting the right fighters, by the way, not just fighting bullshit fights, fighting the right fighters, he is easily the best Mexican fighter of all time. I said this. That came out of my mouth on a live feed. 928KU, not everybody does have him at number 1. Did you not see the ESPN pound for pound rankings? They have Terrence Crawford at number 1.
Sure do.
Canelo fans don't watch boxing. They watch Canelo. So I'm trying to tell you. How many Canelo fans actually know who fighters are at 105, 108, 112, 115? Hell, I name them in fucking order. 115, 118, 122, 126, 130, 135. I can name these motherfucking divisions in order without even looking at a goddamn sheet of paper or box rec, nigga. I know boxing. How many Canelo fans can name fighters from those divisions and run down a top 10 list from those divisions? I'll wait. So, hey man, hey J Ball, without looking at box right, who the fuck is knockout CP Freshmart? What division? You better answer right now. Right now, nigga, right now. Because you in the chat, you hear me. What division knockout CP Freshmart fight at? Right now. See, if it takes you too long to answer, I know you're going to box rec. What division? And what belt does he have? L-Dub, you gave him the answer.
No. He answered. He said, I don't know.
Oh, he said, I don't know. All right, that's my point, J-Ball. That's my point. And that's what's up. You're being honest. That's what's up.
Respect on that one, yeah.
92AKU. He said, who the fuck is that guy?
That's right now.
Y'all are being honest, and you just proved my point.
Right.
Most Canelo fans do not watch complete boxing divisions from 105 to 200 plus. They do not. Just prove my point. So, Abney Yildirim lost to Chris Eubank Jr., only beats Marco Antonio Parabin, and draws with Anthony Durrell, gets a Canelo fight. That's the 4th fighter, along with Liam Smith, Alfredo Angulo, and Rocky Fielding, that does not have a better resume than Demetrius Andrade, nor has the career accolades. Let's go to the next one. This is where it's going to get a little hairy, Bo.
Ooh, I like hairy.
Callum Smith.
Oh!
Wait a minute, sir.
Hey!
Callum Smith has a better resume than Demetrius Andrade, and he has better career accolades.
Yes, he does.
We're going to say that, bro. Here's the deal. When you look at Callum Smith's resume, honestly, before the 168-pound World Boxing Super Series, which I 100% commend any fighter that gets inside the World Boxing Super Series, because what they try to do is compile all the best fighters in the division into one tournament. And if they don't have all the best, they have the second best. They do a good job of that. Now, they do a terrible job paying their fucking fighters, right? These niggas lie to us that they got money and they really don't. Right? Motherfuckers be lying about the kind of ducats they got. But at the end of the day, you know, I commend fighters that join the World Boxing Super Series. But Callum Smith at that time, right, was only known. He was only known, really, for beating, I believe, I know it was Rocky Fielding, but I believe he beat Hassan Minjam and Jickham before that.
You sure did.
Those are the only 2 fighters that Callum Smith beat that I guess were notable right? Before going into the World Boxing Super Series. When he got there, he ends up beating Eric Skoglund, who is another prospect. He beats Nicky Holskin, who absolutely is a 100% nobody to fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then he beats George Groves. However, George Groves was coming off of shoulder surgery. So he wasn't 100% evident by the fact that he retired right after losing to Callum Smith, right? But we still give him that win. Other than that, he's beaten John Ryder. There's that name again. So Callum Smith's resume consists of John Ryder, who he arguably lost to.
Sure did.
I had John Ryder winning that fight. Sorry, fellas. I had John Ryder winning that fight. George Groves coming off of shoulder surgery after he beat the dust off of Chris Eubank Jr., right? Hassan N'Jam N'Jikum. Now, here's the thing with Hassan N'Jam N'Jikum. If you know boxing, you're going to be like, hey, 2K, that nigga's a two-time champion. Here's the problem. Hassan N'Jikum didn't rightfully win his first title, which was the WBO. He sure did, LW. Struggled with Nicky Holskin like a motherfucker. That shit was crazy. When I saw that, I immediately was like, no. Callum's not a big time dude. He's not. But Hassan N'Jam N'Jikum, his first title, the WBO, he was gifted that title. Why? Because he was the WBO interim champion and was elevated to WBO champion and then lost his first defense to Peter Quillen. Remember that fight? He went down like 8 fucking times. You know what I'm saying? Got knocked down like 8 times in that fight, man. Then he went on to fight Ryota Murata for his second world title. However, it was the WBA regular title. Again, if you don't think the WBA regular title's a real title because there is a super title, then this really doesn't count. But we'll give it to him anyway. He fought Ryota Murata in Japan, picked up a split decision, but the whole boxing fucking world who saw that fight saw that that was a robbery.
Yeah.
Hence why they fought again, and Ryota Murata got the goddamn regular belt right back off of him. So essentially, the situation with N'Jikum is that both titles he got, one, he was elevated to champion, didn't really rightfully beat anyone to get it, and the second one won it off a robbery. And in both situations was never able to defend it because he lost the fight right after when trying to make his first defense. Lord Jesus, bro, I hate being a boxing enthusiast. So realistically, N'Jikum is no better than John Ryder or Eric Skoglund or Rocky Fielding.
Not really.
So when you look at Callum Smith's resume, and I'll run it down again, best wins, John Ryder, George Groves coming off of surgery, Hassan N'Jam N'Jikum, who really wasn't a real champion, Eric Skoglund, and Rocky fucking Fielding. But he got the Canelo fight because when you look at the champions at 168, Callum was the weakest link, fellas. Billy Joe, and when I say this, Callum was the weakest link as it pertains to Canelo. Canelo does not like slick styles.
That's right.
That's why Oscar did not want him fighting Erislandy Lara and definitely didn't want him in there with Andrade. He did not want those fights to happen at 154.
Right.
So when you look at the champions at 168, minus Benavidez, right? You got Callum, who's not slick. You got Billy Joe and Caleb, who are both slick. The weakest link as it pertains to Canelo and his style is Callum Smith. That's why he jumped at the fight.
Yep.
Callum Smith does not have a better resume than Demetrius Andrade. Let's go to the next one. Nor does he have better accolades. People are going to say, hey, he was a unified champion at 168, right? He wasn't unified. He was WBA super, and he had WBC Diamond.
I mean,
That's not unified.
yeah, that's right. You're right. You know what? You're absolutely right about that. And also keep in mind that Canelo really jumped at Callum Smith after that horrible fucking performance against John Ryder.
Right. Exactly. WBA super champion and then won the WBSS. That were his accolades. Understand, Demetrius Andrade is a 2-division champion. 2-division champion beats 1-division one-time champion.
All day and 4 times on Sunday.
Yes, sir. So Callum Smith doesn't have a better resume, nor does he have better accolades than Demetrius Andrade. So that's 4 guys, right? Alfredo Angulo, Liam Smith, Rocky Fielding, 5 guys. Avni Yildirim, and Callum Smith. Those 5 guys that Canelo gave fights to do not have better resumes than Demetrius Andrade, nor do they have better career accolades. Let's move on to the 6th guy. Jose Cito Lopez.
Oh, man. He made that nigga come up at that for a fight. He sure the fuck did.
I shouldn't even be doing this shit to them boys, man.
Where'd you get damn? You pulled. Oh, I forgot all about your sober. He pulled that nigga up. He said, "Hey, dog, why don't you come up 7 pounds? Yeah. Come on up 7 pounds."
Oh, Jose Cito Lopez. The funny thing about Jose Cito Lopez is that he was actually coming up from 140 to fight Victor Ortiz when he broke his jaw. So he moved up actually 14 pounds in a matter of 2 fights, Bo.
Sure did.
Now, let me just say something, man.
Wow.
I don't even need to look at Jose Cito Lopez's resume. I don't have to.
He was never
right?
a champion. He was never a champion.
He was never a champion and didn't beat anybody, right?
No.
People didn't even think he was going to beat Victor Ortiz, man. Right? But he fights Victor Ortiz, stuns the world, right? And breaks Victor Ortiz's jaw. Victor Ortiz quits, right? Now, Canelo was in the crowd because he was on par to fight Victor Ortiz next, right? If Victor Ortiz would have got past a natural 140-pound champion, he had the Canelo fight next, right? But when he got his jaw broken, quit, guess who raised their hand immediately for Jose Cito Lopez to come up to 154? You're right.
Yep.
Canelo Alvarez.
That redhead nigga with that herpes on his lip.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, y'all know I don't even got to go into this. Jose Cito Lopez can't even hold Demetrius Andrade's jock strap, nigga. Matter of fact, he can do it as a representative of Demetrius Andrade's fucking corner. He could do it. He can't even be Andrade's sparring partner, let alone have a better resume and better career accolades, man. So that's 6 fighters that got a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I ain't gonna go that far, neutral natural. Only reason why I mentioned Jose Cito is because Canelo jumped at this nigga when he beat Victor Ortiz. That's why I brought him in. That's why I brought him in. Exactly, the Texan. Pure silence on Jose Cito Lopez. Right? That's 6 fighters I just named. 6 of Canelo's resume that Canelo gave fights to that do not have a better resume than Demetrius Andrade, nor don't have the same or better career accolades than Demetrius Andrade. Avni Yildirim, Jose Cito Lopez, Rocky Fielding, Liam Smith, Callum Smith, Alfredo Angulo. And the last one that I got, Billy Ho Sanders.
Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on there, buddy. Just wait a minute now, buckaroo. Now, listen here, pal. Okay? Now, Billy Joe is a 2 different. He beat She-Fat. Okay? Now, just a minute there, buckaroo. I was okay. I'm fucking subscribing.
Right. Exactly. Now, let me run off something for Demetrius Andrade real quick before I go to Billy Joe. as I've been saying, Demetrius Andrade is a 2-division champion.
Mm-hmm.
His best wins, Vanez Martirosyan, Jack Colque, WBA regular champion at 154, right? Willie Nelson, Masage Selecki, and Brian Rose. Those are his best wins. Not that great of a resume. I agree with y'all on that, right?
Very much so.
However, the whole point of this is to show you that guys that Canelo have been fighting don't have much better resumes or don't have better resumes at all. Billy Joe Saunders' best wins are David Lemieux, right? Now, David Lemieux was a former IBF champion.
Sure was.
However, David Lemieux, and my whole point about naming David Lemieux and going into David Lemieux is that David Lemieux was never that good of a fighter, especially when Billy Joe got to him. He had already been knocked out by Marco Antonio Rubio, I believe was knocked out by him. And I believe he was beaten up badly by Joaquin Alcine. There's that name again, right? Those two guys had already gotten to David Lemieux, man. David Lemieux was never that great of a fighter. So I don't give Billy Joe Saunders that much credit for fucking David Lemieux. However, he was a former champion. You got to give him credit for that, right?
Sure do. You do. You do.
Chris Eubank Jr. Hell, Billy Joe and Chris Eubank Jr. were both on a domestic level, right? They were both coming up.
That's very true.
And the two had to fight each other, as UK, the domestic level does over there in the UK. They have their two best at a given division fight each other to see who's going to the world level. That's what that fight was for. But he only won by split decision. This is Eubank Jr., y'all. Now, I thought it was a comfortable split decision. I had Billy Joe Saunders winning, and I felt he definitely should have won that fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was split decision against Chris Eubank Jr. But that doesn't matter. He beat Chris Eubank Jr., right?
He beat him. Yeah, he did.
Next name, John Ryder. There's that guy again. John Ryder's getting ran the fuck over by all these guys. Everybody's beating up John Ryder, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Andy Lee, that's probably his best win of his career. And I say that because Andy Lee, who to me is like a solid B to B minus level fighter, is better than David Lemieux. And that's how Billy Joe actually got the WBO title, right? Yes, he does, Redcliffe. He has a former champion on his resume. Yes, he does. I just named him off. I don't know if you're in here or not. But Andy Lee's his best win. And Andy Lee alone is the reason why I will say Billy Joe Saunders does have a better resume than Demetrius Andrade. Niggas are like, oh shit, oh wait a minute. I didn't think that was coming.
No, they're not. Because they don't be listening to the podcast where you've said that before.
Exactly.
You've said either on par or one fight better.
On par or one fight better. Billy Joe Saunders is one fight better in resume than Demetrius Andrade, and that's because he defeated Andy Lee.
Yep.
Now, his other win is Spike O'Sullivan. And Jaime Munguia whooped his ass beginning of last year. Dude with the fucking fucked up mustache, right? So when we look at Demetrius Andrade's win, oh yeah, I'm glad you said that into AKU.
Woo! Thank you, baby.
I'm about to murder your ass now, dog. I'm glad you said that. Thank you, sir.
Where my
Damn,
Vaseline?
them boys be feeding right into my shit.
Hell yeah, man. Where my Vaseline? Shit.
Yeah, for real. I'm going to leave his comment up there because I'm going to get to that shit. When we look at David Lemieux, Chris Eubank Jr., John Ryder, Andy Lee, and Spike O'Sullivan, no. That was factual. However, your facts don't have the context they need. Yes. And I'm going to provide the context, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm going to do.
You know what's funny?
See, hold on real quick. What you guys do is y'all say shit then walk away. No, but you don't provide context. That's your fucking problem. Yeah, please. Yeah, wait. It's gonna happen. Go ahead, Bo.
Now, if I say you said that on the phone, you said the only thing people know about is Monterosa for.
I said this was going to happen. What you just put up there into AKU, who admitted earlier that you don't watch all of boxing. So that tells me your boxing knowledge is not that great. No disrespect, but it's not. I told Bo that this was going to happen. That y'all were going to say, oh, Vanez got killed by Triple G. I said it was going to happen. When you look at Billy Joe's wins, David Lemieux, Chris Eubank Jr., John Ryder, Andy Lee, Spike O'Sullivan, and compare them to Demetrius Andrade's, Vanez Martirosyan, Jack Colkay, Willie Nelson, Brian Rose, and Masage Selecki, let's break that down. Brian Rose, we'll go with the weakest. Brian Rose is no different when he fought Demetrius Andrade. He's no different than fucking John Ryder. Why do I say that? Because John Ryder and both Brian Rose were guys that were able to win on the UK circuit, but fail when they got title shots.
Yep.
Brian Rose was the BBB of C, the Commonwealth, all that European shit. Yeah. He had those same titles. So did John Ryder. But when they stepped up to actually fight a world champion, they got beaten. Hell, John Ryder actually should have won, in my opinion. But officially, he lost, right? So officially, Brian Rose and John Ryder, they cancel each other out. They're the same. Masage Selecki, well, he's only lost to two top-level fighters in 160. Andrade being one, Daniel Jacobs being the other. That's it. So in my opinion, Masage Selecki is better than Spike O'Sullivan, whose best win probably is Antoine Douglas. You know what I'm saying? Because Antoine Douglas was a prospect that everybody was talking about, and Spike O'Sullivan knocked him out while he was still standing up. So Masage Selecki is better than Spike O'Sullivan. Brian Rose and John Ryder cross each other out. That's 1 point for Andrade. He's up 1 point. Willie Nelson, in my opinion, he cancels out with Eubank Jr.
Yes, he does.
Why do I say that? Why do I say that, Bo? Because Willie Nelson, if y'all remember, defeated Tony Harrison and gave him his first loss.
Sure did.
Tony Harrison, as of 2021, is a top fucking contender at 154. Even though he just lost or had to draw. I think he had to draw with Brian Perella, right?
Yeah, he did. He had a draw.
He had to draw with Brian Perella. However, he's still a top contender at 154. He defeated the guy that's probably going to be an undisputed champion pretty soon here, and Jermell Charlo gave him his first loss, and it wasn't a bad decision when he won it.
It wasn't.
Willie Nelson beat that guy, gave him his first loss. So him and Chris Eubank Jr. cancel out.
Willie Nelson was the guy that showed us that Tony Harrison has stability problems because he checked out in that fight also.
Exactly.
That's the fight, if I'm not mistaken, where he spit the fucking mouthpiece out of his mouth.
Exactly. Yup. Jack Colkay and David Lemieux cancel each other out. Jack Colkay really didn't do shit at 154 with that WBA title, nor at 160. Gave fucking what's his name? Demetrius Andrade a hell of a motherfucking fight.
Sure did.
That was the one fight.
Yeah.
That was the one fight where Demetrius Andrade looked like shit.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? But Jack Colkay and David Lemieux, both are underachieving champions, right? Underachieving champions. But I will give 1 point for Billy Joe Saunders because David Lemieux held a real title. Jack Colkay did not. WBA regular.
Okay.
So
That's
it's 1-1.
fair.
It's 1-1 right now.
Now, see, now that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair because we've always told y'all we don't look at that regular title as being a real world champion.
And me being a fair person, I'm not going to use it, right, to elevate my argument. I don't do that. Don't have to do that. So it's 1-1 right now. They're tied in resume. And we get down to the last person. Vanez Martirosyan on Andrade's side and Andy Lee on Billy Joe's side.
Whoo.
Now, Vanez Martirosyan, I'm going to tell y'all something, is better than Spike. Let me say this. The Vanez Martirosyan that Demetrius Andrade beat. And here it comes, 9-2 AKU. I hope you're listening. The Vanez Martirosyan that Demetrius Andrade beat, right? That Vanez Martirosyan was an undefeated fighter, had arguably beaten Arislandi fucking Lara before that, and then went on to arguably beat Jermell Charlo after he lost to Andrade.
Sure did.
To make it simple, Vanez Martirosyan was a bad motherfucker at 154. A lot of people did not want problems with. I didn't see Canelo jump at that opportunity. I didn't see Jermall Charlo jump at that opportunity, especially when his brother got a gift unanimous decision. I had Vanez beating Jermell Charlo.
I did too. I had him beating Lara, to be honest with you.
I had him beating Lara too.
Okay, I had him beating Lara.
Yeah, I had him beating Lara too. Now, the second Lara fight, Lara won that shit.
Oh, yeah, he did.
The second Lara fight, Lara won that shit against Martirosyan. But the first one, which was before Andrade fought him, right? Martirosyan beat Lara. He was robbed of that fight. The Jermell Charlo fight, neither here nor there. Why? Because that shit happened after Demetrius Andrade. But all I'm just trying to make it clear, because Into AKU is basically saying that with his statement that Vanez Martirosyan was only known for getting killed by Triple G. No, he was not. He was a bad motherfucker at 154. Nobody wanted any problems with, man. Nobody wanted any problems with Vanez Martirosyan at 154.
Right.
Arislandi Lara and Demetrius Andrade stepped up to the plate. Vanez Martirosyan is better than Spike O'Sullivan. He's better than John Ryder. He's better than Chris Eubank Jr. And he's better than David Lemieux. Vanez Martirosyan by himself is better than 4 of Billy Joe Saunders' best wins. Now, Vanez Martirosyan at 154. Not the one that went to 160 to fight Triple G on short notice because Triple G needed a tune-up. And Jaime Munguia and HBO declined Jaime Munguia.
Sure
Not
did.
that one. The one at 154 that was undefeated and that gave Arislandi Lara hell. That one. Go ahead, Bo.
I would say, not to mention, I think Vanez was coming off a long-ass layoff.
Yeah, he was coming off a long-ass layoff. He was in his contract with Don King. Don King said, get your motherfucking ass in there.
Exactly.
Because he had talked all that shit about Al Heyman.
Yep.
Al Heyman said, man, fuck you then, nigga. Right? Long layoff, moved up in weight to a division he had never fought at least at that level, right? He never fought an elite level at 160. And then got killed by Vanez. Absolutely. I mean, got killed by Triple G. Absolutely. Look at the situation. But that Vanez at 154 back in 2014? Oh, no, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad motherfucker.
That was a bad motherfucker, man.
So Vanez, 2014, 154-pound Vanez Martirosyan is better than David Lemieux when Billy Joe fought him, Chris Eubank Jr. when Billy Joe fought him, Spike O'Sullivan when Billy Joe fought him, and John Ryder when Billy Joe fought him. That's 3 points. That's 3-1 for Andrade. However, the reason why Billy Joe Saunders wins by 1 point is because Andy Lee was a WBO champion. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
I just broke it down for you guys, man. Nobody else on YouTube, nobody else on Spotify, nobody else on fucking iTunes, nobody else on Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio. Nobody breaks it down like we do. Nobody can do this. They don't know boxing. So I give Billy Joe a slight edge just because Andy Lee was the WBO champion. Now, that leads me to Canelo giving him the fight. So with the situation where everybody likes to say, Canelo fanboys, right? They like to say, who is Demetrius Andrade fought? I just completely debunked that, guys.
Sure did.
Completely.
Sure did.
Completely. I completely debunked it from the motherfucking rooter to the tutor, boy. So what we say in the South. I named you 6 fighters, right? 6 fighters that Canelo gave fights to that do not have better resumes, nor do they have the same or better career accolades than Demetrius Andrade, Alfredo Angulo, Liam Smith, Rocky Fielding, Avni Yildirim, Callum Smith, Jose Cito Lopez. Then there's one fighter that does have the same accolades, right?
Yep.
Billy Joe is a two-time champ, a 2-division champion, 160, 168. Actually, the same belt as Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade's a 2-time champion, 154 and 160. Both of them held the WBO belt twice, right?
Yep.
But Billy Joe, by one fight, has a better resume. So you're telling me that one fight, it's that one fight, Bo. Billy Joe deserves the fight over Andrade? Woo! Man, oh man. Oh man, you got anything to say about that verbal annihilation, Bo?
Yeah, I just got one thing to say, man. This why you niggas should be testing us on 3 kickboxing, nigga.
Trying to tell y'all, man.
Oh man,
nobody does what we do.
No.
Now, mind you, all that shit that I said, Canelo's #1 fighter on 3kingsboxing.com.
Yeah, because you can't deny what he 4-division champion. You can't deny it, whether you like how he did it or the way he did it.
Right.
Can't deny it. It
Right.
speaks for itself. Does he has names on his resume? He has Shane Mosley. He has Miguel Cotto. He has Gennady Golovkin. Now, biggest question is, were they in their prime, or did he get some good decisions? Edson Lara, did he get some good decisions? That's a question for another day. But it doesn't. At the end of the day, he got that W, and those were his accolades.
Red Cliff said, even if Canelo gives Andrade the fight, what do you think his chances are? 50-50, 40-60, 30-70. I see that fight playing out similar to the BJS result. What do you think about that, Bo?
I actually think you have a point, except it'll be the difference is, I believe it'll be a little bit more glaring that Andrade is either winning or giving Canelo Alvarez a very hard time. Understand, the biggest thing with Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez said himself that fight was a problem fight for him when it came to Billy Joe Saunders. When he was interviewing Eddie Hearns, he said, "Man, this fight bothers me. It's a problem for me because he's a slick fighter, and it's not so much he's a slick southpaw. Billy Joe Saunders also athletic. Canelo Alvarez isn't the highest in athleticism, and that bothers him. Is slick, left-handed, athletic fighters. So it would have been very glaring that he was having issues with Andrade. Like, that would have been glaring. If you watch it, that would have been glaring. So I think we would have seen some of what Billy Joe Saunders was, but it would have been a lot more definite. And also, I don't think Andrade would have been as easy to hit as Billy Joe Saunders was toward the closing end of the fight.
Yep, agreed. Bo actually has Canelo beating Demetrius Andrade, I believe.
I sure
right?
do. Yep.
Yeah.
I said if he fights him, I think he beats him.
Yeah, Bo has Canelo beating him. I don't think Canelo beats Andrade. However, it's Canelo. It's Canelo. I think Andrade beats Canelo morally, a moral victory. Canelo gets the decision. I think it'll be another split decision, kind of like Arislan de Lara. I thought Arislan de Lara beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? I think the judges' scorecards, one was 115-113 for Canelo. The other one was 115-113 for Lara. And then you got dumbass Levy Martinez, who was obviously paid off, had it 117-111 for Canelo.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, there's always one judge in every Canelo fight, including Floyd Mayweather fight, where that one judge is just ridiculously off. Levy Martinez for fucking Arislan de Lara, Stanley Christodoulou for Austin Trout, CJ Ross for Floyd Mayweather, Adelaide Bird for the Gennady Golovkin first fight, right? Same thing's going to happen to Andrade. But I think Andrade is going to outclass Canelo. He's going to outclass Canelo. But he's going to lose the fight. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it doesn't matter if he fights these guys. Just fight him. You're going to win anyway.
Right.
He has the best. Canelo has one of the best chins in boxing. I'm not even his trainer. I'm not, nigga, I don't look nothing like his trainer, bro. Eddie Reynoso. I don't look nothing like him. You see my picture right? Don't look nothing like that nigga. I got traps and shoulder muscles and shit. You know, it's Eddie Reynoso, a little fat motherfucker, right? I look nothing like him. But I'm telling you, I'm confident nobody knocks Canelo out, man. Nobody's knocking this motherfucker out. Even if he goes to 175 and fights Archer Beterbiev, he does not get knocked out.
No, I don't believe that either. You're right.
Nobody knocks him out. I was ringside when Daniel Jacobs, go watch the fight, landed that big ass left hook, dog.
Ooh.
And that shit was loud as fuck in the T-Mobile Arena.
Dude.
Bah! It was loud, bro.
The people went, ooh.
Nigga, I was like, ooh.
Oh, man. Ooh.
Hit that motherfucker with a big ass left hook. Canelo just chewed that motherfucker to bits like he was eating fried chicken, nigga. Give me some more. That's exactly what he did. It did nothing. Nobody knocks Canelo out, man. So as long as nobody knocks Canelo out, this motherfucker is, man, dog, this is the smoothest career I've ever seen. I'm just saying, bro. Yeah. This is the smoothest career I have ever seen any boxer go through. It's just survive. That's it. Survive. That's all he has to do. And he wins.
That's it. Oh, you know, it's funny because when you watch that Billy Joe Saunders fight, right?
Damn.
And I had to fight a draw, but I'm okay if you had it 75-77 Canelo, 75-77 Billy Joe Saunders. I'm okay with that because it was that type of a fight.
Yeah.
But understand something, though. All Canelo Alvarez has to do in the fight, he don't have to win all four of the methods that you score a fight. Effective aggression is clean punching, defense, and ring generalship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He got to win all four. Canelo Alvarez really only got to do one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it.
That's it. He's got to do one. Right? And at the end of the day, as long as he's doing that one and it appears that this motherfucker is doing something, like some of those punches, Billy Joe was blocking it. But he was getting credit for it because why? It's Canelo.
Yep.
See?
Yep. Exactly, man. There's nobody that can. A lot of people who don't like Canelo are banking on Caleb Plant. You know what I'm banking on? I'm banking on Caleb Plant gives Canelo a good fight so that motherfuckers will actually come out and say, okay, let's see him fight Andrade. Let's see this. I want Canelo fans to get so mad that I say the things that I say and that others that agree with the shit that I say the things that they say, that they're like, you know what, fuck it. Like that one guy on our Facebook page that said, I hope Canelo fights him so he'll shut his big mouth.
Yeah.
I hope Canelo fans get on that same page. So they can be like, fuck it, let's just see. Canelo, just fight the guy. That's what they did about Laura.
Sure, yep. Do
the same thing with Andrade now. Regardless of if you think Andrade ain't beat nobody, even though I just 1000% debunked the fuck out of that, right? Compared to the guys that Canelo has given the fight to before, right? Regardless of all that, it is still a situation where Demetrius Andrade is an opponent in which he may be able to give Canelo trouble. We just saw Billy Joe give him some trouble. Andrade has the same kind of slick style, base style. They don't fight the same, but the base style is the same. Southpaw, slick. Demetrius Andrade is smarter than Billy Joe, and he's longer. So it makes it for even a more intriguing fight.
Yeah.
So David Benavidez, tall, long, rangy,
smart,
and he can fight on the inside. Smart as fuck.
Yeah.
He can fight you from the outside and on the inside.
And is a dog.
That's an intriguing ass fight, man.
Yeah.
I want to see that. How could you not want to see something like that? That's my problem.
Right.
How could you not want to see that? That's my point, man.
Well, the reason why Canelo gets away with it, the reason why they don't want to see it, you guys want to see these guys fight each other. Now, I actually agree with that because back during the Four Kings, they actually did fight each other.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Leonard fought Hearns and Duran, then Hagler fought Duran and Hearns, and then Hearns and Duran fought, and so forth and so on, right? Okay. So the Four Kings actually did that. They fought each other. But at the end of the day, you still gotta fight some of the top guys that's in your era also as well. So I'm not gonna tell a champion, hey man, you need to go fight this champion.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I gonna tell him that? Because the reality is, and let's just keep it a buck and call it what it is, man. Every era has had that one fighter everybody wants to fight to make that money. The difference between this era now and those era was motherfuckers was making fights to fight each other to put themselves in that position. Because really, all you had to do, you didn't necessarily have to win, just make a good account of yourself. Andrew Galata had 3 title fights in a fucking row. But this generation, this era, because of you guys and what you say, see, when you anoint people and you give them shit before they done something, now you got guys that's like, oh, well, is that where the money is? And it's a good business thing. Then why should I, Billy Joe Saunders, why should I, Callum Smith, fight each other, which would be a big money fight? Oh, no, we're going to put that off because I might get a Canelo Alvarez fight. And that's what you got going on. That's the reason why there's been no move. There was no movement at 160. That's the reason why, why did it take Canelo to come along and go for undisputed at 168? How come, where was y'all pounding the floor and the pavement like y'all doing now for them niggas to do it back then? Because I know David Benavidez was trying to do that.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, got to be consistent, fellas.
Got to be consistent, man. I just want to see the best fights. That's all I care about. I don't care. Listen, like we said earlier, I was happy when Canelo beat Daniel Jacobs because the motherfucker could have fought Demetrius Andrade, got the WBO belt, that's undisputed, then went up to 168 and became undisputed there. That's dope as fuck to me. I have no problem with him doing that. But when he's skipping around fights and shit, and I see him seeing opportunities to get an easier path to undisputed than the one that he had right there at 160. He was right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Right?
Yeah.
Hell, Daniel Jacobs didn't even beat nobody to get that fight. Nigga, 7 motherfuckers that don't have the same resume or accolades as Demetrius Andrade. Daniel Jacobs.
Yep. And that man, I think Daniel Jacobs' biggest win is Peter Quillen.
Peter Quillen, nigga. Peter Quillen been whack.
And Vanez, and I think Vanez Monterosian is better than that nigga.
Peter Quillen out here losing an Alfredo
and
getting draws with Andy Lee or Matt Carabar, whoever the fuck it was. I forgot it. I think it was Andy Lee.
It was Andy Lee.
Come on, man. Peter Quillen been whack, man. Actually, in all honesty, we talked about that Hassan N'Djamena Jickum fight with Peter Quillen. If N'Djamena Jickum would have stayed on his goddamn feet, he would have beat Peter Quillen. Remember, because the motherfucker went down like 6 or 7 times, and the scorecards were not that far away from each other. He was actually outboxing Peter Quillen when his dumbass wasn't on the canvas. Gabe Rosado was arguably getting on Peter Quillen's ass before they stopped the fight.
Sure was.
Hey, Peter Quillen's been whack, man. This nigga fought an old ass Winky Wright, coming off a long layoff, by the way, and thought he was big shit after that, and then openly ducked Gennady Golovkin right after that.
Sure did. Drop that belt. Drop that belt. I remember that shit.
Ducked shit out of Gennady Golovkin.
That nigga dropped that belt.
Right? That's Daniel Jacobs' best win is fucking Peter Quillen, man. He didn't do no better than Demetrius Andrade to get the Canelo fight. I fucking forgot about him.
Too easy, man. It's too easy.
Too easy, bro. When you know boxing, you'll never lose. When you know boxing, you'll never fucking lose, man. We got to get out of here. We're just going to talk about David Benavidez, man, but we're going to move that to another show. I might be out on Friday. I got some shit I got to attend to, so we might not come back on Friday, but next Tuesday. But if you see that motherfucking notification, man, or if you see the channel, you know what I'm saying, it's got a pending show, man, that means we're going to be on Friday. Bo, you got anything you want to add to this shit, man, before we get out?
Oh, yeah, just in case my man ain't here, we got a fight coming up, Louis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa.
Right.
All right, we got some good fighters on the undercard, you guys, man. No other show does this for y'all, all right? So you niggas, goddamn it, don't walk away from your phones just yet, motherfuckers. Put your shit down and chill.
Right.
All right, you got a prospect, Xavier Martinez. Now, some of y'all might remember Xavier Martinez. He just had a fight where that motherfucker went life or death with that dude named Claudio, right? I think his name is like Claudio Morero or something like that, right? This nigga went life or death with him in his last fight. He got knocked down twice. I believe it was in the 8th round, and he wind up winning that fight. But he is a Floyd Mayweather fighter. Signed with Floyd Mayweather back in 2016. Junior Golden Gloves in 2010. He finished, I think he won the National California Championships, he was 4-3 in 2012 and 2013. He's 85-10. He turned pro at 17 years old in Tijuana. Okay, the guy he's fighting is Juan Carlos Burgos, former world title contender in 2 divisions as featherweight, and I believe it was junior lightweight. He's fought every belt he fought for. He lost, right? He lost to Hazu Hasagawa. He's lost to Roman Martinez. He's lost to Mikey Garcia, and he even had an L to Devin Haney. Then, of course, you got some other prospects on there. You got Jose, I think his name is Venezuela, and of course, you have Justin Cardona. So those guys are going to be on the undercard. Justin Cardona, all y'all should know him. That guy's linked to Robert Guerrero and them down there. Yeah. He defeated Roberto Nagarette in the amateurs.
Right. So, I remember that.
Yep. So them guys are gonna be on that undercard, man. Y'all check that out.
So what's the did you say the main card? I didn't even hear that shit.
The main card is Louis Nery and Brandon Figueroa.
What do you think about that fight, man? Real quick.
I like that fight, man. I think Brandon Figueroa, though, Brandon Figueroa could be in some trouble. He's a better fighter than his brother, and I think he's much smarter than his brother. But I just think there's some flaws that Louis Nery could take advantage of, and that power of Louis Nery could be the default factor. Oh, we forgot our boy is on there. What's the dude name? Daniel Roman is on there.
Daniel Roman is on there.
Yeah, Daniel Roman is on there.
Yeah, that's a former unified 122-pound champion. Now his belt's been dispersed since. You know, like what's his name? Stephen Fulton got one. Who's IBF? Damn, who's IBF? MJ. Yeah, MJ got 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, that's what's up. Daniel Roman actually wants that MJ. rematch. I don't know if it'll work out for him. Honestly, I don't see Daniel Rahman beating anybody at 122 right now, bro.
No,
that's real shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. But
too much talent there now, man.
Yeah, it's too much talent. He's kind of, yesterday's news. But it's cool to see him still fighting. I mean, he still got it and shit. But
well, he's in between the rock and the hard place. Too much talent there, and he can't go up, man.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Brandon Figueroa versus Lewis Nery is gonna be a motherfucking cracking, as the UK guy said. Fight, you know what I'm saying? That shit gonna be off the chain, bro. Now these two motherfuckers that don't duck nobody right here. Lewis Nery just can't get hit. This motherfucker can't stop testing positive. That's his fucking problem. This nigga tests positive every day, nigga.
That motherfucker drink some orange juice. Oh, fuck, I'm positive.
Right. This nigga worse than a bitch that always get pregnant, nigga. This nigga always positive, nigga. Shit. This motherfucker pregnancy test. That nigga always gonna have 2 lines on his shit.
That motherfucker say, what's your blood type? Oh, positive.
I'm trying to tell you, dog. But that's like that's the problem with that motherfucker, man. This nigga always positive, man. But hopefully he don't miss weight either. He done that shit against the cat that he beat twice. Uchiyama? Was it Takashi Uchiyama?
No, not Takashi Uchiyama. Jose. No. What's the nigga name? Suzuki Yamanaka.
Yamanaka, thank you. Uchiyama was Jezreel Corrales. That's who beat Uchiyama. Yeah.
Remember that look Suzuki gave that nigga that fight? Like,
hell yeah. Hell yeah. Trying to tell you, man, that shit, dog. But Lewis Nery, that's a bad motherfucker, man. 118. I'd like to see Lewis Nery and Naoya anyway. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully one day. I'd like to see Lewis Nery and John Real Casamero. If Rigo beats Casamero, hell, I want to see Lewis Nery and Rigo. It's a stacked division down there at 118, man. But a lot of these motherfuckers are not ducking each other. And that's the one thing that y'all got to understand. We just ran off Canelo and Demetrius Andrade and all these guys that don't have good. None of that should matter. I shouldn't have to say this. You see what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to make a show trying to convince people that, hey, this guy deserves the fight because X, Y, and Z. I shouldn't have to do that. What should already be right, what should already be understood should be fucking understood, man. We're not talking about, oh man, John Real Casamero don't deserve the Naoya and Inoue fight. Oh man, Nonito Donaire don't deserve not the Nordine Al-Bali fight. We're not saying that. Y'all ain't saying that either, mostly because y'all motherfuckers don't watch them fights. But that shit doesn't happen down there. So it shouldn't happen in the higher weight divisions either, man. Cut that bullshit out, man. You're fucking up the sport with that crap shit, dog. Real talk, man. But yeah, man, that fight, Lewis Nery, Brandon Figueroa comes on Showtime Saturday, May 15th, 10 a.m. or p.m., Eastern time. You know what I'm saying? Check that shit out, man. All right, man. Until the next one, go to 3kingsboxing.com for your source of pure, unadulterated boxing information. Hit us up on Twitter at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, Facebook.com/3kingsboxing. You know what I'm saying? This podcast is every Tuesday and Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Pacific. You know what I'm saying? This Friday, we might be out. We might not. Just pay attention to the notification. If you haven't rung that bell yet on the YouTube channel, man, go ring that dumbass bell they got so y'all can get the notifications. That shit's stupid to me, how YouTube implemented that dumb shit. But go ring that shit. Hopefully you'll get a notification for the next show. But just be on the lookout Friday around, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Go to the show on YouTube, see if we got anything posted up there. If we don't, then we probably not going to, we probably not going to be on and shit, but we'll keep you posted. Before we leave, man, my man Troy Soares, he said, great show, fellas. Keep on educating the boxing for dummies that always keep exposing their dumb ass selves. Exactly, family. That's what we do. But until the next one, we out this bitch.